It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer, and today we're going to be taking a look at a bottle of Singha Premium Export Lager beer, coming in at 5% ABV in a 630 milliliter bottle. There's a look at it, there's the bottle cap. Let's get the beer out into a glass and see what we get. Looking forward to this one, to be honest with you. I've been reviewing beer now on YouTube for 10 years. Nice bit of smoke on the bottle opening. And it's been one of these beers that's always evaded me. Always see it in the supermarket. Always thought to myself, I'm going to review that one day. I've never tried the beer. Always waited until the actual review. There's a look at it then. We've got a 3-finger white head. Clear looking beer, of course. Most of these premium lagers seem to be like this. It's the style of the beer. Good levels of carbonation, light straw coloured beer. Let's get the aroma. It's exactly what you kind of expect from the aroma, really. It's light, fresh, slight lemon, light malt aroma, a little bit of sweetness, slightly peppery, slightly bitter. One for the masses, really, in Thailand and of course around the world. A lot of people drink this around the world, this Singha beer. It's quite a popular beer. If you imagine Thailand, it probably gets up to, the humidity is probably crazy high, and the temperature is probably between 35 and 40 degrees in the summer. So you need something like this just to wet the palate, just to refresh yourself with. So let's dive in. Cheers. That's okay. That really is okay. First thing you get is a big fizz of carbonation hitting your palate. That moves the beer around the inside, and that kind of helps just to refresh you. That kind of, I've just got it out the fridge. I've had this in the fridge for a long time. You can see by the condensation on the glass and the condensation on the bottle that I've got it straight out the fridge. It's how you drink these beers, really. Freezing cold. How they're meant to be kind of drunk. Extremely light, extremely refreshing. A little bit of light, crisp malts coming through at the beginning, a little bit of sweetness. That then goes over to being peppery, slightly peppery and bitter on the back end. It's nice. I've mentioned it before a number of times now. As the years have gone on, reviewing beers on the channel, I really have learned to accept this style of beer. Even though when I first started reviewing beer, I was dead against it. Really dead against it. I was all for the craft beer movement, wanted the small breweries to do extremely well. I still do, of course. But I suppose as I got older, I'm not so raw now as I once was. 30 years old when I first started the channel. I'm now 40 years old. A little bit older, a little bit wiser. And you have to, and as I've gotten wiser, I've learned to understand that yes, there is a place for this style of beer in the market. Not everybody wants to drink a big thick stout or a big thick porter, double IPAs. They want to drink something light and refreshing after a hard day's work. They just want to knock something back to refresh themselves. I'm still in the camp. I mean, if you offered me a double IPA, imperial porter, porter stout, saison, that sort of thing, I'd love that beer. I really love that beer. My message here is just that I've learned to accept this style of premium lager, as the big breweries like to call it. Talking about big breweries, the beer is owned by Molson Coors Brewing Company. So they're a big company. One of the largest breweries in the world owns this. But I think they've done a relatively good job of just leaving it alone. Just letting it become and do its own thing in Thailand. In Thailand, they don't need their beer to taste like Budweiser or Coors Light. They want it to taste a little bit original, a little bit different. So I believe they've left this beer alone, Molson Coors. They've said, leave the recipe, crack on, carry on brewing it as you have been since, it looks like, 1933. What's that, 2019? It's coming up 87 years old by my maths. 86, 87, 88 years old. There's a place for it. Bag of crisps, cold lager. If you imagine yourself riding around in Thailand on a bike, as they do, or a little motorbike in the heat, you're going to want something to refresh yourself with. I'm not sure if there's any description. Rich yet refreshing. Singha is a perfect accompaniment to Asian cuisine. Brewed originally in Thailand since 1933. And this is the point. It says Molson Coors Brewing Company UK on the back of the bottle. But this beer is, they make a point of saying, imported premium beer brewed in Thailand. It is definitely brewed in Thailand. There you go. Says it right there. So again, we're drinking authentic Thai lager, albeit owned by a great big American company. It's not too bad. As I mentioned, it's one of these beers, I've seen it on the shelves the last 10 years. I've wanted to pick it up, I've wanted to buy it, never really got round to it. I'm glad I have. I'm glad I have, I really am. Let's rate it. I've been drinking a lot more Pils Lager, craft Pils Lager, a really good Pils Lager, the last 18 months, 2 years, and I really enjoy them. This not being quite a Pils, it's not bitter enough to be a Pils. They've called it that kind of premium beer, premium lager style beer, which there's a less of a bitterness on it. It's not so bitter in terms of a Pils. It's slightly lemony on the back end, slightly peppery, very drinkable, very refreshing. A little bit of sweetness from the malt coming at the beginning. It's okay. It really is okay. It's a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 from Reload Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers.